It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 25th day of July, 2022. Coming to you from Forest, Virginia, Bedford County in the Central Virginia area. I'm Chillie Falls, your host. And of course, the main story this morning, or the lead story, is Amsterdam port closed at the last minute. That's on today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. By the way, today, folks, is National Hot Fudge Sundae Day. Now, a couple days ago, we had Vanilla Ice Cream Day, and I said, I'll just go out and have me a hot fudge sundae, and that'll count. And that's what I did. But now this one is specifically Hot Fudge Sundae Day. I'm going to do it again, too. It's plenty hot enough to go out and have a sundae this evening. All right, cruise ship sailing today from North American ports. In Jacksonville, you got the Carnival Elation, Port Canaveral, the Disney Wish, and the Carnival Liberty, Independence of the Seas, and Mariner of the Seas. West Palm Beach, you've got Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Down in Miami, you've got the next cruise ship that I'm going to be on, which is the Norwegian Sky, Carnival Conquest, Freedom of the Seas, and Carnival Sunrise. Tampa, you got the Carnival Paradise. New Orleans, the Carnival Valor. Los Angeles, Long Beach, the Carnival Radiance. And Los Angeles, San Pedro, Navigator of the Seas. In Seattle, you've got Quantum of the Seas. Vancouver, you've got Norwegian Jewel Cruise and land packages. You've got Disney Wonder Cruise. From both Anchorage and Fairbanks, you've got Celebrity Millennium land packages and Royal Princess land packages. In addition to the lead story this morning on Amsterdam port closing at the last minute, AIDA is the first to use biofuels. The Coral Princess finally lands in Brisbane, and a volcano erupts in Japan. That and a whole lot much more here this morning at 11 o'clock. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. Usually I post pictures or clips on the show each day. You can always access those by jumping over to the video feed. You can always find the link to do that in the description of the podcast. You can also find a link to the New York Times First Person podcast entitled When What Matters Most is Going on a Cruise, featuring yours truly. All right, two things here this morning. One, Hot Air Tom asked a question about today's story, which I'll answer when I get to that. The other thing, Hot Air Tom, that you sent the message you asked me about, I had heard about that when it happened. However, the information I had on that situation was that it was a burst pipe. So I tend to agree with you on that the information you had in that post was maybe not quite accurate, unless there was two plumbing issues about the same time, but I kind of doubt that. But anyway, that was the information I had at the time. That's not something that I'm going to turn into news unless it affects a lot more people than one cabin. So JJ Crew had an interesting piece over the weekend. I don't know if any of you saw it or not, but basically they were over in Europe and staying in a hotel, and they were out on their balcony one evening working. And Jordan walked into the room and walked into the maintenance man, breaking into their safe and stealing their money. That I was, shocked. Not only that they had to go through that, but I use the safes all the time on cruise ships and in hotels. I've never thought twice about it. Have you ever had anybody tamper with the safe on any of those things? I haven't, but boy, that certainly makes you pause to think about it. Maybe you need to tighten up your own security when you're on traveling, especially me traveling by myself. Anyway, it was, I'm certainly sorry that it happened to them. They handled it very well. The hotel handled it well. They got their money back. But still, that's not something that I was just, at the tip of my tongue to say, oh yeah, that's happened to me too. So, excuse me, what's this? We have breaking news coming in across the headset right now. Breaking news this morning. I'm trying to get the entire story here, but it's breaking news. Yes, a fat man attacked by a shark. Yes, you can see the shark attacking the fat man. And of course, that was a picture I had some fun with over the weekend on the blog, my blog post, accessadventure.net. My blog post yesterday was about my visit to the aquarium here in Lynchburg, Sequest. Basically, I went on a trip to the aquarium to check out the accessibility issues. So it's actually an accessibility report on Sequest here in Lynchburg, and had some fun with it. I had a good trip. It was well worth the trip. I'm glad I did it. All right, I'll be back with today's news after a word from one of our network sponsors. And the lead story has to do with a lot about today is on the other side of the pond. This has to do with Amsterdam, of course. Holland America has been forced to make changes to the embarkation ports for a couple cruises. The MS Rotterdam was supposed to sail from Amsterdam yesterday, but this was changed at the last minute to Rotterdam. And your question, Hot Air Tom, about the cruise line providing a shuttle service to the Rotterdam, they did nada. They sent letters out, emails out to everybody, and took the ship to Rotterdam an hour and a half away, and expected the passengers to get there on their own. From what I understand, guests were informed of the last-minute change this weekend, catching many off guard and scrambling to make new arrangements to get to the new port, which is about an hour and a half away. And it's not just the July 24th sailing. Of course, that was yesterday. But it's also the July 31st when it comes back in at the end of the cruise, and which is also, of course, the next cruise. It will be from Rotterdam as well. Sailing will also be departing from Rotterdam on both cruises. Much of Europe is currently dealing with extreme drought and extremely low water levels in the rivers. and including, of course, the Netherlands, due to the low water in the North Sea Canal. The authorities have been forced to close the locks between the North Sea and the canal. Apparently, the locks are what keeps the salt water from mixing with the fresh water. So where there's a delicate eco balance there that the locks protects. And because of the depth of the water, the closure is to ensure the salt water from the North Sea does not mix with fresh water from the canal, which that could cause environmental damage to the fragile river system. So luckily, the port of Rotterdam cruise terminal is less than an hour journey by public transportation, leaving more than enough time for guests to make the journey, either by train or public transportation, or the more expensive option, taking a cab. I don't know if they have Ubers over there, but I mean, you could take a taxi, but that was a costly trip. The Rotterdam arrived at the Rotterdam cruise terminal at 7 a.m. At 5 p.m., she departed for a 7-day cruise to the fjords, which calls on Flom, Gjulvik, Christiansen, and Oslo in Norway. Guests that have been booked on the July 31st cruise have also been contacted to inform them of a change to their cruise as well. The 14-day voyage will also be departing the Rotterdam, from Rotterdam. Sailing from Rotterdam, the 99,000 gross ton, 2,668 passenger cruise ship will be heading on a Northern Europe cruise calling in Bergen, Molde, and Norway, Akureyri and Isafjord and Reykjavik in Iceland, Lerwick and Shetland Isles, and Invergordon and Edinburgh in Scotland. And I probably slaughtered several of those names. Whether more cruises will be affected is so far unknown. Obviously, they need some rain over there, which could change things relatively quickly. Rotterdam is scheduled to sail from Amsterdam through October 15th. So this could be an ongoing battle here for some time. As long as the drought in Europe continues, guests should be keeping an eye on their email for possible changes to the embarkation and debarkation port. On October 15th, the Rotterdam, this is pretty cool part of the story. The Rotterdam will be setting sail on the first 12-night 150th anniversary transatlantic cruise. And it's going to be a replica of the first voyage ever undertaken by a Holland America Line ship. On October 15th, 1872, the very first MS Rotterdam set sail from Rotterdam in the Netherlands towards the United States. Along the way, the vessel stopped in France and England. Rotterdam will be sailing the exact same route in October, starting with a celebration in Rotterdam and concluding with a celebration in New York. So that's what's up with Holland America. All right, AIDA became the first cruise line to use biofuels. How about that for powering a cruise ship? The German cruise line has been working with a range of partners to develop innovative solutions toward its goal of net carbon neutral operations. During bunkering operations in the port of Rotterdam, another Rotterdam story, AIDA Prima became the first cruise vessel sailing for a major cruise operator to take on marine biofuel as its primary fuel. The fuel is a blend of marine biofuel, which is made from 100% sustainable raw materials such as waste cooking oil and marine gas oil, produced by Dutch biofuel pioneer Good Fuels. The occasion marks an important point in the cruise industry's effort to become net carbon neutral by 2050. AIDA aims to reach that goal by 2040 by working with a multitude of partners working on more sustainable solutions for cleaner fuel ships. AIDA has already installed a first of its kind fuel cell on board the AIDA Nova, an excellence class ship which runs on hydrogen obtained from methanol. This also opens up the possibility of expanding the use of fuel cells to sister ship such as Carnival Cruise Line's Mardi Gras. The fuel cells are also designed to have a far longer useful life than, say, cells that are intended for use in cars, making them a viable option on board cruise ships. So congratulations to AIDA on that change. All right. I'll be back in 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had a guest at the door that I had to go let in. So as nobody is here today. All right. On with story number 3. Yes. Okay. Massive waves keep a princess ship from landing for a couple days. She finally got to land. A cruise ship carrying 2,000 passengers finally docked in Brisbane, Australia, after being stuck at sea for 2 extra days. The Coral Princess, which was scheduled to dock on Friday morning, was unable to due to wild weather. The cruise had its share of other inconveniences after 150 people on board tested positive for COVID and were forced to isolate in their rooms. The severe weather delayed debarkation of the ship's last sailing by 2 days, which also delayed the shortened current cruise by 2 days. Waves measured in excess of 20 feet, that's 6.5 meters, pounding the coastline, and Brisbane is under a severe weather warning for hazardous surf and damaging wind gusts, which were approaching gale force at times. These conditions closed the port, preventing any vessels, including the cruise ship, from docking until the weather totally subsided and it was safe to approach the piers. Finally, yesterday, Coral Princess was able to land, finishing up a 12-night round-trip cruise that became a 14-night trip cruise, as it was supposed to land on Friday. The shortened next cruise is underway. Passengers were excited to get off the ship. Many remained positive about their experience. "We're happy to be off the wild seas," one passenger said. "It was a good time. We were looked after. We always were," another person added. Not all was good, though. Americans Tom Cavanaugh and Cherie Killian were forced to fork out $2,000 after missing their flights. One night I thought we were going to sink, another person said, but we didn't. A woman who asked only to be named as Jane said Qantas buggered us up when she missed her flight. They told us twice that we would not be able to make the booking, and they have passed us as no show, and they've taken our money and our frequent flyer points. The following cruise sailed, of course, shortened by 2 days, the one that they're on now. Coral Princess is the only cruise ship using the port of Brisbane this month, but by November, there will be 7 ships coming and going from Brisbane. In December, you can add 2 more to that one. And finally, the final story this morning. We go over to Japan. Japan's Sakurajima volcano, located on the island of Kyushu, erupted on Sunday, prompting evacuations in the region. The Japan Metallurgical Agency said the volcano erupted around 8:05 p.m. local time. Footage from the agency's surveillance camera showed a cloud of smoke or ash rising from the volcano. Japan Metallurgical Agency announced a level 5 alert, the highest level, calling for people to evacuate. JMA advised caution to residents of Kagoshima Prefecture and Kagoshima City. There were no immediate reports of damage or casualties. Japan's nuclear regulators said that no irregularities had been detected at the nearby Sendai nuclear power plant, which was reported by Reuters. The volcano is located on the southern tip of Japan. All right, that's going to wrap me up on the news portion of things. Let's go over and see if anybody's fussing at me in the chat room. Hot Air's with us. Yeah, Hot Air. Holland America didn't do anybody any favors on that business with the Rotterdam. They just left everybody to get there under their own ways. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. Carol and I were on a group, not a group, a live stream last night with Guga and Rob, 2 of the folks I was with on the JJ Cruise crew. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. Sonny's here down in Mississippi. Travel with Lizzie Lou is with us. Hi, Lizzie. I saw JJ Cruise YouTube on being robbed. Interesting and good to know about hotel safes. Hey, absolutely, folks. I've got to rethink how I'm going to secure myself because I'm one to, the first thing I do is put my passport, my vaccination card, and excess money, usually my wallet. I keep some paper money in my pocket with my credit cards that I use and my driver's license and stuff. I got that in my pocket. But usually I use the safe for everything else. And I thought nothing about it, ever. Katie's with us, says good morning to everybody. Kim Cameron, good morning. Good morning, Kim. It's good to see you. Sonny says we'll not use the hotel safe again. Yeah. What country was that in with JJ Cruise? Pretty sure it was in Italy. I could be wrong on that one. I don't remember if they gave the name of the hotel or not. I'm not entirely sure where it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Italy. Ken's with us. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Kenneth. Carol says, I also saw the JJ YouTube video as well. So unfortunate and scary. Yeah, you know, walking on the wrong person in the middle of that, he might have a gun and pull it out, or a knife, or anything. This guy was just a putz. He was more scared probably than Jordan was. The video was so funny. Oh, me with the shark? They didn't name the city or the hotel. I thought they were started to and then backed off from that. Chillie, have you decided if you're able to make the trip to Bermuda on September the 24th on Carnival Magic? No, I haven't, Kenneth, because I'm waiting until Wednesday when I'm back at the oncologist. And we should get some numbers and get some indication of what this new drug is doing as far as the side effects from the new drug. So far, that's looking really good. I've had none, but still, I've got to look at. I got to look at the results. Talk to the oncologist again before I can make any plans. And so, by then, if there's not any cabins, there's not any cabins. Just I got to do the most important thing, and that's looking at my health and before anything right now. So, yeah, I have not made a decision on that, or a couple of the bargains. I'm looking for bargains too. So, but I'm not doing anything till after I sit down with the oncologist Wednesday. And by the way, Wednesday's show, folks, will be pre-recorded. It will not be live, so there will not be a chat room. Although when the video goes live at 11 o'clock, you can always comment, even though we won't have an actual chat per se. Kenneth said that's one of the first things we do when we get to the hotel, put our valuables in the safe. Now it makes you think if you should hide them in your suitcase. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that one yet. So, but that's a good point. How are we going to do that if we now don't have the safe, the faith in the safe? I don't know if any one of you guys have any good ideas for hotels in New York City. We're going to go a day early before Bermuda trip. If you can recommend any. I saw your post on that, Kenneth. And I went back to look at the last time I did a group out of New York. We stayed the night before in a very nice hotel that provided us with ground transportation to the port and picked us up when we got back in and brought us back to our cars. I mean, there was a fee, of course, involved. But we had, I believe there was 6 of us on that cruise that drove. And so we had, numerous people in all the vehicles, at least 6 in each vehicle. So it was a pretty good sized group. So anyway, because I didn't remember the name of the hotel, looked that up and finally found it and then checked it, and it is no longer in business. So I don't have a New York hotel. I know you can go on the full gamut of pricing in New York City, from so price wise to extremely expensive. Did my mic go out for a minute? No, I ran to the front door. I didn't run. I quickly went to the front door to open it. And my housekeeper's here, and I had to let her in. I usually hide my stuff in different drawers or my suitcase. Yeah. I suppose I don't know. I've always been worried if somebody's going to come in my room. I thought the safe place to be was in the safe. And it would be risky to leave stuff in a drawer or in the suitcase. I suppose, on the other hand, if they have the time and they're going to trash a room to find out anything valuable, they're going to get you anyway. So I don't know. I have real mixed emotions about what to do on that one. Lucy says, I don't know what to do with my stuff now. Yeah, I know. Hopefully we'll come up with some good ideas. Nikki's with us. Hi, Nikki. Kenneth, is your cruise departing from Pier 88? If so, we like the Holiday Inn Express on West 48th Street, an easy walk to the terminal, about 1 1/3 blocks. I have had tremendous success with Holiday Inn Expresses. That was Hot Air Tom booked several for me on the first cruises that I drove to when he booked several hotels for me. But I've used Hot Air Holiday Inn Expresses some since then, not all the time. But yeah, that would be an excellent choice. That would be one that I would look at if I was in New York, Kenneth. Sonny says, guess I'll just keep my stuff hidden in the suitcase and lock it anytime I leave the room. Well, yeah, that's not a bad plan if you at least have a suitcase that locks. Suitcase locks is a good idea. Yeah, I agree with that one. Did you get your AC issues resolved, Tom? The new system is due to be installed tomorrow. Okay. We've been staying at the Candlewood Suites since last Friday. In Barcelona in May, I was walking around with cruise boys, and 2 pickpocketers tried to get into Justin's backpack. Thankfully, we interrupted them. Yeah, I don't know, that happens. All my traveling, I've never had it happen to me. I've never been hit by a pickpocket. I've never been ever had my rooms broken into. That's why I became complacent and was so surprised by that piece that JJ did. I'm not sure which pier it will be docked at. It's Carnival's at Pier 88 because the Brooklyn Pier is only Cunard and Norwegian on some ships, but Carnival and all their umbrella, Carnival and Royal is Bayonne. I better not say that, folks. That may not be entirely accurate, but I'm pretty sure that Carnival is always Pier 88. If it's Bayonne, you'll need to stay in New Jersey. Oh no, I know Carnival Magic is New York. It's not Bayonne. We'll keep passport in my belt under clothes. Yeah, I usually my passport. I have less problems with that because I keep it on a, and I don't know, maybe this is equally as bad a thing to do, but I've got these neck, lanyards that I keep both my passport and my vaccination card on. Of course, I suppose somebody could grab them and rip them off my neck or cut them off or something. I've got the wallet you put around your waist for my upcoming Mediterranean trip. So scared of pickpockets. That's from Cindy. Cindy, there's one problem about that with the old fat guy like me. They don't make them big enough. Yeah, they're too short. I could maybe put them around my thigh, but not my waist. The current Carnival Magic is showing Bayonne. Hang on, Hot Air. Let me go look at that one. I've got, do I still have Magic up? No, I changed it to another ship. Carnival Magic. All right, we're going to pull up Carnival Magic. That's Norfolk. Carnival Magic, New York, Manhattan. That's Pier 88 is the Manhattan terminal. And then Port Canaveral, Manhattan in 2023. And Miami and Manhattan again. No, the Magic does not stop in Bayonne. It stops in Manhattan, which is Pier 88, same place you sailed out of. All right, so that takes care of that. Now let me get back over here. Where was I? Okay, just check Cruise Mapper. Well, I mean, are you saying that they sailed from Bayonne? Because that's clearly not what I have. So, Cindy's laughing at me. What are you laughing at, Cindy? The shark. I did have fun with that. Okay, the cruise mapper is a bit confusing. It lists all together. Okay. Yeah, see, Bayonne, to my knowledge, no Carnival ships sail from Bayonne. All Carnival ships sail from Manhattan. Brooklyn, which is Red Hook, Cunard, part of Norwegian, and some of the other minor cruise lines sail from there. Just let me see if my search engine, if I can pull up Red Hook to show you what else sails from Red Hook. Departure ports. That's New York, Brooklyn. Anyway, there's 3 ports for New York. There's Brooklyn, there's Manhattan, and there's Bayonne. Brooklyn, which is Red Hook. Okay. There's Cunard, QE2, Viking sails out of Brooklyn. MSC, the Meraviglia will sail out of Brooklyn when it gets there. Enchanted Princess sails from Brooklyn. Silver Seas, Oceania. A couple of the Princess ships, Caribbean Princess, Enchanted Princess. Princess Maravilia. Regal Princess, also from Brooklyn. Caribbean Princess when it's doing the northern group. Queen Victoria, Queen Mary, all the Queen Cunard ships go out of Brooklyn. Yeah, that's pretty much runs down the list of the Brooklyn folks. I was incorrect about Norwegian. So Norwegian now is strictly Manhattan. And let's see if I can pull up some Manhattans as well while we're doing this. New York, Manhattan. Probably going to. Okay. Well, one of the Viking Octantis sailed out of Manhattan. Oceania. So Oceania splits it up. There's Norwegian is in Manhattan. Scenic Eclipse, not even familiar with them. Carnival Magic. Norwegian Getaway. Disney. Norwegian Joy, Norwegian Prima. Disney Magic. The Silver Whisper. That's Silver Sea, so they're split. Norwegian Gem, Norwegian Prima. All the Norwegian ships are Manhattan and Carnival Magic, and some of the lesser ships. Yeah, all of Norwegian. Okay. And there's not any other carnivals up there. Just the Magic. At least that I see. Holland America, they're transatlantic sails from Manhattan as well. So, all right. That takes care of anything else popped in. Laughing at all the problems you list about wallet around your waist. Oh, or my thought. Yeah, okay. It says Manhattan. Yeah, that's the Pier 88, Kenneth. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Again, tomorrow's show will be normal at 11 o'clock live. And Wednesday will be pre-recorded at 11 o'clock, I'll be with the oncologist. And then we'll maybe have some idea about what I can't do ahead. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. Appreciate a thumbs up from all of you. If you haven't subscribed, do that. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. I'll see you tomorrow. This is the Old Fat Travel Guy. Have a fantastic day.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scootaround for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.